thanks very much to Nick Martin for that very kind introduction. Thanks to the Chifley Research Centre for bringing us all together today. Thanks to the editors of this book. It's a very important piece of work about a very important topic, which of course is Labor's purpose in politics. I think we have to start today by admitting that Labor dodged a bullet on August 21. And of course, the Australian people put us on notice. Now, those of us who devote our lives to this cause know how serious this is and how close we came to an historic, humiliating defeat. We saw big swings against us, not just in the outer suburbs of my own home state, but also in city seats that have voted Labor for generations. We came within a whisker of losing government, despite the best performing advanced economy in the world, despite substantially increasing the pension, despite fairer workplace laws, despite record investments in human capital, and despite cutting taxes, income taxes, 3 times. And now we find ourselves in this peculiar position of reviewing and renewing after only 3 years, so soon after the euphoria that accompanied that night in November 2007, when we swept power from the political stage and brought fairness and decency back into public life. Yes, we made mistakes, and we own those mistakes. But we've been given a precious opportunity to repair them, and we will. Everybody agrees we need to better understand and better communicate what we're doing, why we are doing it, and how it fits within the overall direction of the government. So let me take some time today to share with you my understanding of some of the vital principles that will guide us, that will make us distinctive, and that drew us into politics and public life in the first place. Now, I first joined the Labor Party 36 years ago. It sure seems like a long time. But in all of the ups and downs of that 36 years, I've never had more cause for reflection than during the 17 sleepless nights, or should I say 17 sleepless nights and 17 minutes we endured before we could form the Gillard Labor government. For someone like me who cares so much about and for the Labor Party, our near defeat cut very deep. I'm here today because I promised myself that win or lose, I would contribute what I could towards rebuilding our movement. We have a very strong foundation on which we can build. We're creating hundreds of thousands of jobs. We're building a national broadband network. We're putting a price on carbon. We're reforming our tax system. We're fixing hospitals and schools. And we're keeping our economy very strong. You know, when I go to G20 meetings, I look around the room, and there's only a handful of other countries that still have centre-left governments. So it is a tough time internationally for progressive parties. Here at home, Tony Abbott copies the same opportunistic popular slogans we hear from the Tea Party in the United States. Parties of the extreme right all have the same cynical strategy. It doesn't matter where you go in the world. And that cynical strategy is to seize up the wheels of progressive government and then complain that it isn't achieving anything. That's the strategy, not just here from Tony Abbott, in the United States and right around the globe. Now, to counter this, we've got a better story to tell than our counterparts. We've certainly got better plans, we've got a better record, and certainly here, our economy's in better condition. Everyone in our party and everyone in our country can be proud of that. But now, in this period of reflection as well as action, there are going to be many views about what happened and what needs to be done. Already we've had very good contributions from the Prime Minister, from Penny Wong, and also from Greg Conway, and also from our thoughtful friends who have contributed to this book. In my remarks, I'll leave the organisational matters to others and concentrate critically on the most important issue. What is our core purpose? For me, that core purpose starts with two words: prosperity and opportunity. We create prosperity to spread opportunity. That's the historical mission of the Labor Party and of the Labor movement. Just two simple words. Two simple words that focus on education and employment. They lie at the core of this government's policy agenda. Two simple words that sum up why I get up early every morning and get stuck into it. Two simple words which drive so many of our colleagues in the Federal Parliamentary Labor Party. Two simple words, I believe, that go to the heart of why people join the Labor Party, join the union movement and get involved. Two words that encapsulate the modern, competitive, low-pollution economy we need in a country where success is determined by effort, by education, by enterprise, and not by birth. Two words that best encapsulate the government's single-minded focus on jobs. Not just the jobs we've created or the jobs that we've protected, but the meaningful jobs that we will create for the future. And not just any jobs, but jobs with decent pay and jobs with decent conditions. Now, people often wonder what holds Labor together, especially given the fact that our views can vary widely on particular policies. And of course, there is room for difference. Sometimes there's room for very wide difference. But we believe in a role for government and a role for markets which improves the lives of our people. We have a distinctive approach, a proud record, a consistent philosophy, and a contemporary purpose. And of course, the means of achieving that goal changes over the generations. Today, our objective is to grasp the opportunities that flow from the mining boom Mark II to build a more modern, competitive, high-tech, low-pollution economy, which does more to reward honest, hard-working Australians no matter where they live. Our goal is genuine social mobility in a society where anyone who works or studies hard enough can succeed, no matter who their parents are or what postcode they grew up in. Now, this is different from my grandparents' generation. To my grandparents' contemporaries, the goal of left politics was to help people fend off starvation. That's where they were, the consequence particularly of the Great Depression. To my parents' generation, the goal was to spread a modest affluence, buying a small home, a basic car, a clothes washer. Then the goal was to create new opportunities for equality through tertiary education, universal health cover, and an end to entrenched discrimination. This has all changed, and that is change which ought to be celebrated. As Tony Judt wrote not long before his death, the world we inhabit is the creation of social democratic parties like ours. We've got a fine tradition and a lot to be proud of. Just as in the United States, the Democrats have to defend it from the cheap Tea Party populism that's taken over the Republicans, we have to defend it from a new surge of economic Hansonism that has conquered the coalition ever since they abandoned their economic credentials under Tony Abbott and Joe Hockey. Through debate and evolution, we have remained a party of hope for each generation, fending off communists, the DLP, the Democrats, and many others. This is because even at our lowest points, Labor had more ambition for Australia, more idealism, and more purpose than our opponents, and we ought to remember that. Our policies, our results, our determination, that's what sets the Labor Party apart. Now, I don't cast all of our opponents as ideologues, but they're certainly all cynics. That's why when they controlled the Senate, they didn't slash the size of the state as their ideology demanded. They simply attacked unions. They use ideas to further their power. We use power to further our ideas. And today we face a new challenge, quite unlike our century-long struggle with the Conservatives. To many of the new generation of activists, fired up like I was back in 1974 by the idea of a fairer society, too many of them are now joining the Greens. Our base is fractured.